Welcome back. This week, Dr. Eva Olsson is touring local schools in our area, sharing her powerful story of surviving the Holocaust with students and speaking out against hate and intolerance. I was fortunate enough to catch up with Eva in Kitskote to hear her story firsthand.
When the war started in 1939, I was a young teenager living in Hungary with the idea the war will be over soon. It wasn't. It lasted 6 years. In those 6 years, 6 million Jewish people were murdered. 5 million others that were not Jews were also murdered. Well, I talk about the power of hate. And I talk about acceptance. And I talk about the past, my journey, of course, of 1944 and 45. 1.5 million children under the age of 14 were brutally, systematically annihilated by the Nazi bullies. 5 of the children were my nieces. The oldest was 3.5 years of age. The youngest was 2 months old. My oldest sister, Sarah, she was 24, and she died in January of 1944, left 3 little girls, a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 3.5-year-old. And I was beside her when she passed away in the capital of Hungary, and I made a commitment to her that I will raise her older child, Judy. So on arrival there, as we got out of the boxcar, I held her hand, and my mom had a 1-year-old on her arm. Her name was Hetty, and the 2-year-old Kathy was hanging on to my mom's skirt. And beside my mom, I can still see my sister-in-law, a 2-month-old baby girl in her arm. My sister, again, I had a 6-month-old baby girl. A prisoner came over, and he whispered so the guards wouldn't hear him, "Give the child to an older woman." No, he didn't tell me why. And I wasn't going to let go of her hand, because Judy was mine. But he came back 2 more times. I turned to my mom, and I said, "These guys know something we don't know," and we didn't. Had I not let go of Judy's hand, I wouldn't be sitting here this morning. Now, I knew of Poland, but I had not yet heard of Auschwitz. Never. I soon found out what Auschwitz was about. It wasn't a brick factory. It was a killing factory. The air that hit us was nauseating. Black smoke covered the skies, high towers, machine guns, electric fences, guards everywhere with rifles, chaos at the platform. We came to the gate where the angel of death was standing, Dr. Joseph Mengele. He didn't speak to anyone. He just pointed to the left, the ones who wanted to die right away, to the left, and the ones that didn't die right away were ordered to the right. And by the time I turned my head to the left, I didn't see my mom. That's how quick it was. They were forced into those gas chambers screaming and moaning, and after 20 minutes it was silent. It was dead silent. And then came the crematorium. The others, and that's what we smell day and night, human flesh burning. Our families. 2,000 young female prisoners were shipped from Auschwitz-Birkenau to the first slave labor camp. And then from there, 520 were taken to the capital of the Rhine, another slave labor camp for the crop manufacturers. Then the Russian forces were coming closer to that part of Germany. They didn't want us to be free, and they took us to Bergen-Belsen, where Anne Frank and her sister died. That was the last camp. There I was liberated in April 1945 by the British forces and some Canadian soldiers that came in from Holland.
Do you remember that day?
Oh, do I ever? Because I remember a soldier, I was lying on the ground, on the barrack floor, rather, very, very sick. I didn't know what I had, but I found out later, typhoid fever. And a soldier bent down and put a red cross on my forehead. And he didn't go to every prisoner, just to some. And then I also found out that there was an indication to the ambulance driver, the prisoners with the red cross will be taken away first. And then they dealt with those that were skeletoned already. I remember that day. I'm sad that 1.5 million children, including my 5 nieces, were murdered. So why do I do this? Because I need to speak for my nieces. I need to speak for all children whose voices were silenced by hate, and they cannot speak for themselves. Somebody has to do it.
And that's been our show for tonight. You can reach us with comments, questions, or story ideas at aroundtheregion@newcap.ca. I'm Kayla Buchanan, and thanks for watching Around the Region.